Ah, nothing quite like a glass of fresh Florida OJ. Actually, safety first. Much better. Have you ever found yourself packing your bags for a tropical getaway asking, how do people dress at this resort? Like this? Why does resort wear look like this? Why do the clothes have such vibrant colors and patterns? What if I told you that has a lot to do with one small island and a little bit of spilt orange juice? And it completely changed the way we buy all our clothes today.
The style of the late 1800s involved a lot of layers. Women wore heavy dresses, heavy skirts, corsets, multiple undergarment layers, while men wore three-piece plus suits with ties and so forth. A lot of these outfits were made by seamstresses as well as women themselves, designing them for themselves to create these garments that they saw in women's magazines.
As travel became more accessible with the advent of railroads, people sought destinations to escape the frigid winters or desolate summers. Grand hotels and resorts sprang up near the sea, lakes, mountains, and rivers, becoming self-contained havens of leisure as guests indulged in various activities such as billiards, dancing, and boating. They were often required to wear different attire for every activity.
Europe was still the center for the fashion industry during World War I. Coco Chanel and Patou were still designing during that period, but a lot of American designers were modeling their clothing after these fashion designers. World War I prevented a lot of people from traveling internationally over to France, and the south of France was a major place for resort destinations, and a lot of where you got your clothing was in France. More people began seeking a destination in the United States for their leisure time, and one of those places ends up being Palm Beach.
Certainly, Americans were traveling pre-World War I to destinations in Europe to enjoy warm weather climates like the south of France and other very beach-friendly destinations. But as international travel became much more arduous during the First World War, Palm Beach became a wonderful option that was more convenient to reach. And as train travel made it even more accessible, Palm Beach became the quintessential luxury destination to spend your winters avoiding the winter. In a sense, the concept of ready-to-wear was propelled by resort dressing because prior, people of means might have their clothes all custom made. It wasn't like you could go to a store and have a selection of clothing. You really had things custom made or bespoke. But with the concept of resort dressing, suddenly there was an opportunity for more ready-to-wear clothing to become available for purchase immediately. When you arrived in a setting like Palm Beach, you needed additional wardrobe that was environmentally friendly, per se, so for sunnier weather. So more and more boutiques emerged that supplied ready-to-wear clothing to wear for the sunny weather.
I just want to reiterate that. Before this time, retail stores didn't really exist. It was this idea of showing up to a resort destination and suddenly finding out, oh, we're playing golf or tennis today, that drove the demand for buying clothes off the rack, otherwise known as ready-to-wear, which is how we buy pretty much all our clothes today.
By the end of the 1920s, Worth Avenue and Palm Beach were really on the map, affecting and influencing designers in all types of designs for resort wear, everything from bathing suits to casual attire, also to evening gala attire.
Women found more freedom in their styles in the 1920s and 30s. They were able to push the proverbial envelope in what they considered modest. They wore items like beach pajamas that allowed them to wear trousers when it wasn't considered the norm.
This is how women began breaking the mold of not being allowed to wear pants, and to sneak past those pesky beach police who ticketed you for being immodest. Yeah, that really happened.
During World War II, resources were more limited. There was less resources for clothing, so you start seeing the hemline rise and different styles appear.
American designers emerged as trendsetters, adapting to the regulations and creating fashionable trends that made the most of the limited resources available.
Post-World War II, fashion has this wonderful renaissance, as it often happens after a time of crises. And that included creating fashion to celebrate when you're on vacation. So the clothing becomes bright, it becomes colorful, prints are celebrated. And this continues decades later, that's how we tend to dress when we are in a resort setting.
One of the first designers to create resort wear prints included Emilio Pucci, who created these very bright designs that became popular for the jet set crowd.
If you look at a brand like Emilio Pucci, which began doing ski wear, but became extremely famous for these psychedelic prints that became very definitive in how we dress during warm weather season.
The middle class was able to enjoy newly accessible travel options, thus causing a surge in the popularity of leisure travel. People needed clothing for these travels, and retail companies were all too eager to accommodate them.
So Martha Phillips actually begins her fashion salons in 1932, and she opens her second shop in Palm Beach in 1945, influencing a major part of what changed our community's understanding of the fashion world.
She was bringing great emerging designers like Valentino or Hane Mori or American brands like Halston and Bill Blass, and exposing them to really extraordinary clients because these women had very active social lives. So they wanted to shop locally, and Martha Phillips became the destination for the best dressed women of Palm Beach to really present themselves as this became a burgeoning social and very chronicled society. Because Palm Beach became such a destination for, the cliche of the rich and famous, whether somebody was a bold historic name like a Vanderbilt or a movie star or another very important social player, for fashion designers, it was incredibly valuable to dress these women because they were the original social media stars way before the internet. If you were dressing somebody of international renown, it really could help propel your brand. And Martha Phillips was very instrumental in creating exposure for a lot of the new designers who eventually became household names because she was putting clothes on some of the most notable personalities of the 20th century. Lilly Pulitzer certainly became America's answer to the Pucci print. And interestingly enough, this very unique type of print that you could identify a mile away was developed in Palm Beach. So the most identifiable American resort print of Lilly Pulitzer was born in Palm Beach and was really a reaction to what was happening with Pucci in Italy. There was a practical aspect to the Lilly Pulitzer print because it could camouflage stains.
Lilly was born into a prominent Palm Beach family in her own right, and she eloped with Peter Pulitzer, the heir to the Pulitzer Empire. They settled here in Palm Beach, and she wanted to promote the other side of the Pulitzer business, which of course was citrus groves. So she opened a juice stand in Via Meisner on Worth Avenue called Pulitzer Groves Juices, and she asked her dress designer to create a uniform so that when they were serving the juice and the juice splashed on the clothes, you wouldn't see the stains.
With this very unique camouflage of a Lilly Pulitzer print, suddenly it was less of a liability and life could go on without having to change constantly because you had a little citrus on your navel.
The iconic Lilly shift dress played a pivotal role in shaping the Palm Beach resort look.
The wealthy residents of Palm Beach embraced a fashion sense that was both elegant and appropriate for the warm climate. This style included clothing such as flowing caftans, wide-brimmed hats, linen suits, silk dresses, and the previously mentioned brightly colored Lilly-style resort wear.
every brand wants to be represented in Palm Beach, or if it's not a storefront, they do a pop-up. So there is this almost third wave of Palm Beach fashion excitement.
Palm Beach's legacy of being a launch pad for luxury brands and designs is still very active today. Carolina Herrera are opening on Worth Avenue, and many other brands are coming here constantly every year and every season.
Palm Beach's influence on this transformation is undeniable. It wasn't just about the clothes, it was about the lifestyle they represented. A blend of comfort, style, and a dash of rebellion against conventional fashion norms.
We take for granted the idea that you can go to a store and have lots of options, but it was really, I think, it can be argued that resort wear helped increase the demand for ready-to-wear dressing. Because Palm Beach is regarded as the first American luxury resort destination, it is very inspiring for the outside world to see how people dress at this magical place. And fashion designers from around the world have used Palm Beach as a benchmark of inspiration. And so many resort collections of the most noted fashion designers are truly inspired by the history of Palm Beach in the past, but also how Palm Beach inspires us today with a wonderful, exuberant way of dressing that celebrates a joie de vivre and embraces the sun and the sand.
There you have it. So next time you reach for a glass of juice, throw in some resort wear so you don't have to worry about stains. And why should you? After all, you're on vacation. Thanks for watching. We've got more fun episodes of Behind the Palms coming soon, so make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified as soon as they come out. See you in the next one.